Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Coast. It's Monday, it's a Blu-ray release day. I'm just around the corner from HMV. I'm actually just about 50 yards from the old HMV in Brighton. I'll show you that in a second before I go up. Not a lot out today. I am after 2 new titles, but if they don't come in, I've still got 2 to show you anyway, so there'll be a little bit in the conclusion. I'm going to go and grab a coffee because I'm thirsty, and I'll show you what I picked up at the end. Oh, I've got something else to show you. Movie maps. I'll explain a little bit more in detail a little bit further on in the video. I'll see you all in a bit. Okay, on this corner where the Energy Fitness Gym is where the old HMV used to be situated. I'll put a picture up in the corner of when it was there. And it had 2 floors of retail space, and just across the road, believe it or not, was a Virgin Megastore as well. Good times. Okay, so I'm about to show you my morning Costa coffee, which is not a sponsor, and then I'm going to insert a clip that I filmed earlier today about movie maps. Be sure to check it out, it's very interesting, and I'll take you into HMV and see what new releases there are today. In the meantime, look at that lovely view. The sun is coming out. Hope it doesn't rain later. Okay, so this is something interesting that I wanted to bring to your attention. I purchased these last week. I went to a small market with my daughter and there was a stand selling these film maps. Now I'm going to put a link in the description below where you can purchase these for yourself. And by the way, if you use the code Kermit at the checkout, you're going to get 20% off the price. Now, I'm not being paid for this promotion at all. I just think these are outstanding. And you as a buyer and Mike Bell as a seller, you can mutually benefit. Everybody is a winner. Mike also covers music on his website, so you can also purchase bands and music related maps as well. I'm going to put a couple of images up in the corner for you, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously these maps are in the style of the London Underground tube line maps, and they work brilliantly. They make excellent display pieces and everyone that sees them are just fascinated. I'll put the Blu-ray here of Back to the Future so you can get a scale of these maps, but other sizes are available. So right over here on the side we have all the characters within the film. Each one is a different colour and you can plot their route throughout the movie. So just above that, character interaction symbols, noting how many characters interact during various plot points. And above that there's a list of filmmakers, the director, writer and so on. So as an example, the red line here indicates Marty McFly and his timeline throughout the film, interacting with Doc, the Libyans, his mother past and present. Well, you know what happens. Now, obviously, as a movie fan, I couldn't leave with just one movie map, and it was a very difficult situation having to choose which one to get, which one to leave behind. And I was also limited by space as I have a specific area planned for these. But here are the others that I chose. So I also went for The Shining. This is a fascinating movie map, very detailed indeed. These, by the way, would make great gifts for any film fan. I believe you can also get these ready framed, but I'm planning to make my own frames to fit in with the library surrounds, like I have done on the end of the aisles. Next is Jaws, and there's no way I was leaving this one behind. The blue line that I'm tracking here is the great white shark itself and its eventual final scene. Oh, and by the way, I was giving Mike, who is the artist of these maps, ideas of possible films that would be of interest to you in the community, like the Halloween franchise or the Harry Potter films. So any suggestions, please pop them in the comments below, and I'm sure Mike will give them some consideration. So here is my last map, and it's that of the James Bond franchise, featuring the 25 movies under the Eon production. Now just look how detailed it is and the incredible work that's gone into these projects. There are a couple of other film maps available at the moment, and I'll pop an image or 2 up in the corner for you to see. So let's see where I'm going to put them. So I've laid them out on the floor to give you some scale. These are going to be framed and attached to the library door. I need to paint the door and make the frame, so it's going to be a few weeks before they're put into place. This is where they're going to be going. I am going to be removing those scratch posters and expect to see the finished result in a few weeks. So with the movie maps shown, I will head into HMV, our various PS5 games advertised in the window. So which t-shirt is going to make it onto the mannequin this week? Well, it is Rocket Weirdness is Everywhere. First title to show you is Marlone. It's got a great cast. On the cover there you got Liam Neeson, but I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about this later in the video. Thankfully, Dazzler Media has put this out. At one point, it looked like we weren't getting the Blu-ray for this. The Blu-ray is priced at $14.99, whereas the DVD is priced at $9.99. There's no slipcover on either one of these releases today. The next title to show you is The Flash. This is a film that's divided audiences, and this is available on all formats today. You've got a Blu-ray here priced at $14.99. This is presented in a slim case with a glossy slipcover. There's also a 4K here priced at $24.99, also with a slipcover. And you've also got a DVD here priced at $9.99. No slipcover for this release today. And then finally, there is the 4K steelbook for £29.99. And you've got the spine title there that is nice and clear, but the image is quite dark on the front. Cutthroat Island next, and this is a title I don't need because I already have the American release from years back. This has taken way too long to reach us, but this does boast a new restoration. Priced at $14.99, slipcover has the same image as the cover, in case you were wondering, I'll show it there. There's also a 4K edition priced at $24.99. Couldn't find a DVD for this today, so maybe they didn't put it out on that format today, but you never know, it might be. So next is a 1967 version of Brief Encounters. This is put out by Studio Canal. It's a Soviet Union version of the story. Not sure if it's been dubbed into English, but I'm sure we will have subtitles. It's got a runtime of 96 minutes and carries a PG certificate. Next is Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome 4K Cine Edition. This is a HMV exclusive, and with this you get 2 discs, an A3 poster, 3 various double-sided art cards, and 3 double-sided character cards. $29.99 for this set, and it's limited to 1,500 copies. Next is the horror film Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Good advice right there. This is from 1973, written and directed by Bob Clark, his 3rd film. It's got a runtime of 87 minutes and will set you back $14.99. Next is Ken Russell's Gothic, a surreal horror from 1986. This BFI release has a good cast. You've got Gabriel Byrne, Julian Sands, Natasha Richardson and Timothy Spall. I believe this story is also told in an episode of Doctor Who. This is priced at $16.99. Next is a Radiance film release of Scream and Scream Again. This 1970s horror is a limited edition, has 2 cuts with a runtime of 95 minutes. It's got an epic cast. It features Vincent Price, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. This is going to set you back $16.99. Next title is Black Magic Rights. This is a 4K edition. They didn't stock the Blu-ray in store today though. It's from Indicator Films, so it's great to see HMV stocking new titles from them. This is an Italian horror from 1973 and looks like there are 2 digipacks inside. This is priced at $24.99. Ringu next on 4K. This is also a limited edition. It's from Arrow this time. This Japanese horror is about a cursed videotape. It's from 1998 and it's got a runtime of 96 minutes. This is priced at $21.99. Night of the Hunted next, another new release from Indicator label, again a 4K limited edition. This is a sci-fi horror from 1980, rated an 18 certificate, again double digipack inside and priced at $24.99. Rape of the Vampire next, yes, another new 4K Indicator title and again a double digipack edition. This surreal exotic horror is from 1968 and is rated an 18 certificate. It's got a runtime of 100 minutes and is priced at $24.99. Hey everybody, welcome back. So they did have the films I was after in HMV, so there's 4 titles to show you, so I'm going to crack straight on with it. First one to show you is The Flash, a DC superhero movie from this year directed by Andy Muschietti. Now he's the man behind It's chapters 1 and 2, so that's a good start right there. But before we go any further, I'm going to point out it does feature the new flavour of the week, the multiverse. How many more times? But you've also got time travel to fix a past tragedy. And we know that seldom works out because we've all seen the consequences play out in various movies across the years, like in Time Machine from 2002, where Dr. Alexander Hartigan tried to save his girlfriend from the killer mugger, and then the car, and then the horse, and so on. All the messed up story that plays out in Predestination. But here we have Barry Allen, aka The Flash, played by Ezra Miller, who's actually warned about time travel and what can happen if you tamper with it by Ben Affleck's Batman from his reality. The Flash, by the way, can actually achieve time travel through sheer speed, a bit like Superman did. And Barry just wants to go back in time and save his mother, which is understandable, and that obviously is going to have consequences throughout the film. Now, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory, but we all know Michael Keaton appears in this as Batman, and there's also Sasha Callier as Woman of Steel. Say no more. In fact, I won't say any more. I've seen the reviews and I've heard they are very opposing. You've got several loving it, several hating it, especially about the ropey effects in this. Now, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, the guys behind Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, they co-wrote the screenplay alongside Joby Harold. Now, there are a couple of uncredited performances to look out for along the way, so keep an eye out for those. And it's got a runtime, this one, of 144 minutes, so quite a long film. Let's take a look inside. So the slipcover and the cover have the same image. and there is a plain blue disc. So that was The Flash. Okay, next one is a film that I picked up during the week and I watched the same night. It is The Vikings. It's a Eureka release. They put this out about 6 years ago, but the film itself is from 1958. Directed by Richard Fleischer, the man behind some brilliant films. He made Fantastic Voyage. He made 10 Rillington Place, Tora Tora Tora, which is a movie I still need to track down. And this stars Tony Curtis as Eric. He is the illegitimate son of the Viking king Ragnar. So in effect, he is Eric the Viking. Anyway, Ragnar is played by Ernest Borgnine. He was over in England, raped the Queen, killed the King, pillaging, all that sort of thing, and Eric is a product of that raid. Now, Ragnar's unaware that Eric is his son, and through circumstance, Eric is now one of his slaves. And Ragnar believes he's only got one child, and that is Einar, being played by Kirk Douglas, who's actually worked with the director before in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is a great movie. That was made just 4 years earlier. There's an Englishman called Lord Egbert who claims sanctity with the King Ragnar and recognises a royal pummel stone that's round Eric's neck and knows instantly that he must secretly protect him and take him back to England to claim his rightful place on the throne. Lord Egbert is being played by James Donald, who's been in some great movies as well. Bridge on the River Kwai, Gift Horse, Great Escape, and many, many more. Now, of course, there is a woman that comes between the two brothers, and that is Morgana, being played by Janet Leigh. Now, you'll know Janet. She was Kathy Williams in The Fog, as well as Marion in Psycho, and Susan Vargas in A Touch of Evil, which was made the same year as this one, and is directed by Orson Welles, who actually narrates this movie as well. Picture quality on this is pin sharp. It's got a runtime of 1 hour 56 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the front cover image has been put onto the disc. There is a hefty 40-page booklet, and there is some alternate artwork which features an original poster. So that was The Vikings. Next title to show you is Marlowe. This is a neo-noir crime thriller made last year, directed by Neil Jordan, the man behind Mona Lisa, The Crying Game, Jodie Foster's The Brave One, and High Spirits. And this is set in Los Angeles in 1939, and it stars in his 100th film role, 62 of which I have in my collection, Liam Neeson as the title character, Philip Marlowe. It's a character that was created by Raymond Chandler. Now, Marlowe is a private detective. He's trying to solve the whereabouts of a man called Nico Peterson, being played by Francois Arnaud. And Nico, he works as a prop director in a film studio, and he's presumed dead. His head was caved in during a car accident, couldn't recognise the face. However, someone has since seen him alive and well, so the plot thickens. Now, the person who initially hires Marlowe is Claire Cavendish, played by Diane Kruger from the National Treasure films, and her mother in this is a movie star called Dorothy Quinn-Cannon, being played by Jessica Lange, who's also trying to find Nico. Now, I showed a film focus box set featuring Jessica Lange on the 4th of September, and this is her first time back in film for 6 years. Now, being a neo-noir thriller, you can expect a few twists and turns along the way. It also stars Alan Cumming from the X-Men films. He was Kurt Wagner, or the Nightcrawler, in that. You've also got Danny Huston, who was the head vampire in 30 Days of Night, and you've got Colm Meaney, who was Chief O'Brien from Star Trek Next Generation and DS9. So it's got a very good cast in this one. Music's provided by David Holmes, who also did the scores for Oceans 11, 12 and 13, and it's going to run time 1 hour 50 minutes. Let's take a look inside. So the front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was Marlowe. Okay, next and last is a film my daughter and her partner picked up for me from a CEX in Poland, of all places, and it is Cyrano. Now, this film's not been put out on Blu-ray in the UK, which is absolutely criminal, especially when you consider some of the drivel that hits our shelves. Why they've decided not to release this, it's just beyond me. Now, this is a musical drama from 2021 about unrequited love. The movie is directed by Joe Wright, a director of whom I have all his works except for one, and that's because that remainder has not been put out on physical media yet. And this stars Peter Dinklage as a total character, Cyrano de Bergerac, in a brilliant piece of casting, I may add. He's a man deeply in love with his childhood friend Roxanne, who's been played by the director's partner Hayley Bennett. And you may know Hayley. She was in The Girl on the Train, or the 2016's Magnificent Seven, or she was in the Equalizer movie, the first one, where she played the prostitute called Mandy. Anyway, Roxanne is in love, but unfortunately not with Cyrano. And I should point out this film's set in France, roughly around 1640 during the Franco-Spanish War, and Roxanne is smitten with a new soldier called Christian, being played by Kelvin Harris Jr., who you may know played B.B. King in the Elvis biopic recently, which was made the year after this one actually. And it's soon apparent that Christian doesn't appeal to her on an intellectual level, whereas Cyrano does. There's also an issue with the Duke of Guiche, who's been portrayed by Ben Mendelsohn, who also wants Roxanne. You see, she is really sought after in this movie. But I'm not going to give it any more away. I will tell you that this film is beautiful, not only in song, but in looks and script. Quite a long one. It's got a runtime of 2 hours 4 minutes, but it flies by. Let's take a look inside. So you can see there I've still got the Polish CX sticker. And there you have it. The front cover image has been put onto the disc. So that was Cyrano. So that was it. Have you seen any of those? Plan to pick them up or just want to leave a comment? Then do so down below. I will read every single one and try to reply if I have the time. Give the video a thumbs up. Really does help the channel. And subscribe if you haven't. It's all free. Why wouldn't you? And on that note, all that's left to say is thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.